And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. We're off to the races for a Friday, and this is, well, it for the Fridays in January. Today is January 30th, as we'll roll into February come Sunday morning. Y'all ready for this? I'll be turning another year older this coming month. Thankful to have that. Let me just say that. Wow, cold this morning. We've warmed up a little bit. We were at 29 when I got here earlier this morning. We're up to 31 now. High today should reach 52, but let me tell you, this is going to be one of those weekends, and we'll discuss this in a little while. With this extreme cold weather this weekend comes a lot of wind. We're going to have gusts 25 to 30 miles an hour, and I say this because of all the rain that we've had. Areas that had ice north of here, with this coming into the state of Mississippi, we could see another round of power outages due to this. Hopefully they'll be able to stand here, but that wind always cracks those limbs, and well, we have temporary power outages in our area. To the north, they're still fighting this each day. Y'all think about our fellow Mississippians in the northern portion of the state, anywhere north of Batesville, still cold. Areas starting to unthaw for roads to be open. I think I-22 is still closed as of last night. Serious. People can only go so long without power, or at least I couldn't. Man, I've gotten really used to that nice warm heat. What a day. We've got so much to discuss this morning. What's going on in America? We'll bring you the headlines that are shaping America in a moment. Right now, let's go to Collinsville with Any Day. You've got to get started off with a good word. Let's see what Brother Ben has for us today.
If you're in Christ, God has placed an astonishing gift into your hands. In Colossians 1, Apostle Paul calls it the riches of the glory of this mystery, something hidden for ages but now revealed to God's people. And this gift that's in your hands, it's not an idea or a method or this moral code. It is Christ in you, the hope of glory. God didn't merely reveal this mystery for your comfort. He entrusted it to you with a purpose. Paul describes his role as a steward from God, right? A responsibility given for the benefit of others. So what God revealed and put into his hands, he then went and shared. He wanted to make it fully known. That's what God called him to. And now that calling now extends to every believer, to you and to me. The riches of Christ, y'all, they were never meant to be received and then stored away. They were meant to be shared. You see, you carry in your hands what the world desperately needs, but can't produce on its own. Wherever Christ is made known, hope breaks in. So don't hoard that hope back. Live generously by speaking frequently of the riches you have in Christ and offer them to others. If you're in Christ, the question isn't whether you possess these riches. You most certainly do. The question is whether you will share them. The world is dying to see. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. As we begin this day, as we said, expect cold weather. We've got the forecast coming up in a few moments as we'll dig deeper into this so you know what to expect. I suggest extra firewood, extra blankets, anything extra you can get to get warm, you're going to need it. Believe it or not, I am shocked to tell you this morning. I mean, more than shocked. Trump has struck a deal with Democrats, and there will be no government shutdown this weekend. If you'll remember, the current deal we had would expire tomorrow. They've struck a deal. It will go on. I'm shocked over this. It done no one any good last time. Maybe that was a way to help things out. Are y'all aware of this? I saw it earlier this week, and you know how you get caught up each day. I was going to include it in the story, but I got sidetracked. Do you remember watching Sandra Bullock, The Blind Side, about the boy at Ole Miss, played football? Great movie. The main character of that, Quinton Aaron, the guy that played the part, is extremely sick. He's been in the hospital. His family has put out a notice that he suffered a spinal stroke. And he's a young man. He's not very old. I'd 40-something, maybe, something like that. By now, because that movie's probably 20 years old or so. But boy, it's good every time you watch it. Tim McGraw was in that. One of the best movies I've ever seen, The Blind Side. Y'all pray for him. He needs a quick recovery, and we certainly hope it. The Department of Justice has officially filed charges against the man that is accused of attacking Representative Omar. Remember the guy with the vinegar? That's what it is. He's got official charges against him now. The Department of Justice after him. I don't know what the exact charges on that will be. If it is, since it was not anything vile in that, if it'll just be a year or two or whatever. We'll wait and see what becomes of this after it goes to court. When faking something, and this is where we go on this, make sure that your closet is clean before you yell something. Law enforcement has a way of checking your background to make sure that you really are clean. Immediately after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, if you remember, was an older guy that goes up and says, "I confess that I did it." Well, he didn't do it. But a quick search of his phone found that he was guilty of other things. Child pornography. They've got him there. George Zinn was his name. He's been sentenced to 15 years in jail for obstruction of justice and also 2 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor due to child sexual abuse material found on his phone. Now, saying 15 years, I wish Julia was here. She knows a little bit more about this than I do when it comes to the law, because it says you get 15 years. It did not say day for day in that. I don't know how soon someone like that would be up for parole. It sounds big. In the end, they may only serve 6 months to a year. And I don't know that part of the law. We almost need like a lawyer to sit here that goes, yep, got the answer to that every morning. There's just things you have to know. You have to know the law, and I don't know all of that. California. We got any California listeners this morning? Turn this down over here for a quick second. This is just a bill that is proposed. It does not mean it's law, but it makes you wonder who elects officials in California. They have proposed a bill that would bar, and listen to me, it's only a bill that would bar ICE employees from ever becoming a cop or a teacher in the state of California. Why would you want to do that? It's just mean. And so let's pass a law of a guy that makes Subway sandwiches and he can never work at McDonald's. It makes as much sense as that. That's just not right. We'll see what becomes of it. And again, it's only a bill. Doesn't mean it'll happen. Indiana, they hit a home run here. They passed this. This is law now. Guess what you have now in Indiana, folks? Only 2 sexes. There's not an X or an option or a third, whatever they want. It's 2 that the Lord hath gave, male and female. If you don't like that, I'm sorry. One day you too will find out what the truth is on that if you don't believe me. Fulton County, Georgia. That's where we go next. As we talked about yesterday, 700 boxes were seized from the 2020 election. Y'all see that? Now, election officials are there going saying, oh, this is smoke. Y'all don't believe anything. I think most of Americans go where there's smoke, there's fire. They are investigating this. With 700 boxes, it's going to take some time to sort through this and determine what went on, what actually happened there. It's enough to cause probable cause. Now, President Trump has also confirmed that Tulsi Gabbard is involved in this study or investigation. There's a picture that, well, I can't show because it's an ugly word. But she was there. She was on a cell phone, and someone took a picture of it. They just put an ugly word. I can't show that. But she's there on scene, and she's helping out with this investigation. This begins. Now, at the same time, let's take a little trip over to Oregon. We really don't hear a lot about Oregon. I know they have big forests, and there's a lot of winter weather there. They have just proven that there was 800,000 ineligible votes that were cast in the state after the Judicial Watch lawsuit. They filed a lawsuit 2024. 321,000 votes is what Kamala won by. Remember what I just said. It was 800,000 that voted that was ineligible to vote. Does all this tie in with what was just said before that? And a guy named George put this on Twitter, and I saw this, and it had a lot of sense to do with this. And he just simply wrote this: arresting a former president for saying that the past election was rigged was never a good way to convince millions that the past election wasn't rigged. Do I know for certain? I do not. Do things point to it from time to time? Yep. We'll see what investigations bring out. Congressman Brandon Gill made a statement. 80% of Somalians in Minnesota are on welfare. 80%. They're not coming to America to live the American dream. They're coming to America for the free stuff, is what he had to say. 80%. That's a lot. Here's something new that DHS is doing, and we get this from their official site. This comes from Homeland Security. They are now offering huge incentives if you're an illegal to leave the United States. They will give you $2,600 cash and a free flight home to wherever you are. And again, you go, wow, that's a lot of money. Trust me, $2,600 is cheaper than housing them and doing all of this and going through the motions. $2,600, you get to go home, no questions asked, goodbye.
It is a lot of money for them.
That's a lot of money for them, but the American taxpayer, it does save you tons of money there. Oh, they've upped it now. And you know, you don't think about this as a young person, a young man, a young woman. Life expectancy. You're freshly out of high school, you start your life and you begin to work at it. And somewhere around the mid-30s, you realize, I don't think I'll ever get this house paid for. Oh, I got to have another car. Oh, the refrigerator broke. I'm in debt. Sometimes that does take a toll on you. And whatever you do for a living, sometimes the job that you do is tougher on your health than others. But with that being said, it's the longest life expectancy ever given to Americans. We are now up to the average age of 79 of making it. If you remember, back in the Laura Ingalls day, Little House on the Prairie, probably about 50 because life was hard. You got up every morning, and if you didn't work, you didn't eat. If you didn't pull those taters out of the ground, you had nothing to eat that night. Things have gotten a lot better for America. But 79, the new age, is what we've got. I saw this, and it seems like it was one of those Lethal Weapon shows that I watched this on. What's his face? Mel Gibson was in a fight with a guy, and they fall in the grain bin, and they're going at it. Real life situation here is a guy fell into a grain bin. He has now lost his life because you sink in these things into the grain, and God bless it. That would be an awful way to go. I don't know what to say about that. Be careful around those beans and these silos. You can fall in. Corn just as dangerous there. Let's see here. Virginia. They're a month into this new governor, and with these new laws and everything that have been signed with executive order, we've got people going, wait a minute, I don't know if I can afford this. With the new regulations that they've put on power companies, the average person, and it's all over the internet, saying my power bill is now $600 a month. That's as much as my car note. That's strong. That's a lot. And we'll talk about this morning. I went to a program yesterday out of the CTE building to where they brought 8th graders in and they were given a paycheck, an imaginary one. And then they went through and had to buy their car insurance, their house, and it taught them the value of a dollar as they went down the line. I've always heard that statement. You ever heard it? Too much month at the end of the money? It's there. As we keep going, we have had someone arrested for attacking the synagogue in New York. You've seen that, where they took their car and continuously rammed it? Just not good at all. Apple sales, they're up. They've hit a home run. 16% surge in sales. That's more than they were expecting. Congratulations to them. Do you know the company Dow? Whatchamacallit? It's a chemical company, Dow. It's red, white letters. They're going to be cutting 4,500 jobs. We're seeing that a lot in companies as sometimes you got to readjust to make it. We have a cop that is headed off to jail. This would happen with the. He was called Springfield, Illinois, is where it happened. We had a lady call 911, said she needed help. Once the cop arrived in the room, I wasn't there, and I'd have to go back and watch the video. He says she attempted to throw hot water on her. He ended up fatally shooting her. He's been sentenced to 20 years in jail for that. Now, why didn't he use a taser? I don't know the answer, but he is headed to 20 years in jail for that crime. Death Valley. You ever been through there? I hadn't. I've seen pictures, and I don't want to even visit. It looks too hot for me. But one of the few homes that are there in Death Valley is going to be opening back up. It's a castle that was built there in 1920. It's called Scotty's Castle. They've been working on it for 10 years after a flood to, well, fix it all up. As you're traveling through there, the Parks and Rec will let you stop there again. Let's see here. We have had more and more deaths in the state of Mississippi. We'll go over this. I think we've added 4 more deaths to the state of Mississippi, bringing a grand total of 70 people that have lost their lives to this storm that has gone through, this winter storm. That is a lot, y'all. Let's see here. Oh, well, that's okay on that one there. Tim Walz. You remember him? He was Kamala's partner. He was going to be the vice president of the United States. He was also the governor of Minnesota. Says he's never running for elected office ever again. And it's probably true. He doesn't need to do that. I doubt he would get elected. Here's a big one. Trump, he is suing. He is suing the IRS and the Treasury Department for $10 billion. Y'all want to know why? And he's doing this on his personal side, not as president. As Donald J. Trump, the American citizen. They leaked his tax records. Y'all remember that? Somebody that worked there gave it to that's confidential. He's suing them over it. I think his point on this, it was done deliberately. It's a no-no. We'll see what happens in court. Will he win? Maybe he probably, there's got to be a law that protects X amount being paid out, but he's going after him. Maybe it will stop him from leaking tax information of anyone. You shouldn't do that. Let's see what else we've got. Tom Homan says he's staying in Minneapolis until it's all taken care of. That man's pretty straightforward. I like his way of thinking. He's been in this business for quite some time. He says he's working with officials to get this straightened out. He'll be there to the end. Coming up, we've got so much to talk about this weather, what's coming this weekend. It's cold in our future. We've got that, and we'll check that forecast next in just a second.
What they do to train their people, but they're always so friendly. Everybody on the phone is friendly. Everyone who comes out to help is professional and kind.
If we want our team to treat our customers well, it starts with us treating the team well. My grandfather and father worked hard to create a family atmosphere where we care for each other, celebrate each other, and genuinely enjoy working together to serve our customers. That overflows to the customer's experience, and that's hassle-free plumbing and AC.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA.
Our record highs and lows. 1956, a warm 79 on this date. Back in 2014, which you go, well, that wasn't that long ago, but that's, 12 years now? Oof, how time flies. It was a low of 6 this morning. My, oh my, that was cold. As we look at the forecast for today, 52 is what we get out of that thermometer at Columbus Air Force Base, somewhere around 46. It gets colder the further north we go. Oxford, Mississippi, barely cracking above freezing at 36 for a high today. It's not much. They've got ice so thick up there it'd scare you. As we go down to Vicksburg, 42, and we'll see 58 on Gulfport. As we look at tonight's low, grab a blanket and put another log on the fire. 17 for Meridian. We'll see 16 up near Louisville tonight as you go through Philadelphia, and 14 at the state line. Oxford, 12. So whatever happens today is going to refreeze. Now, again, I'm not seeing a lot unfreeze at 36. If it does, it's going to refreeze. It's a mess. Down in Laurel, we'll see 20 tonight. Even Natchez coming in at 20 with 26 on the Gulf Coast. That's cold on the water, let me tell you. As we look at Birmingham, 51 in Demopolis. We'll see 49 in Birmingham. Buster is upset, y'all. We got our special guest here. Buster's having a fit that
he's scared.
that Greg is.
He is ugly. It's okay.
Bless it. It's okay. We'll get to see Buster in just a moment here. As we look at this dangerous cold weather for Saturday, as we'll look at this, the Meridian area is under a level 3 cold. Now, what we have is wind chills 5 degrees likely. Sub-zero wind chills are possible. with lows around 15 degrees. We'll know it for sure. We'll see somewhere around 17 in the Meridian area. My, oh my. 16 possibly. As we look at the wind threat, this is what we talked about earlier. We could lose power this weekend. We'll get more into this weekend with all this cold weather, wetness, and heavy winds into the area. It breaks limbs and puts out that power. And look at Saturday night and to Sunday morning. Still cold. We're at a level 2. Wind chills could be 3. Y'all heard that now. 3. My, oh my. Below 20. It's going to be cold there, 6 p.m. Saturday night to 10 a.m. Sunday morning. As we look at this, maybe some normal weather coming from East Texas. We hope so. We need that. As we look at the 7-day forecast, 52 today, 17 tonight. We will only make freezing tomorrow with a high of 32. That's it. Not going to get above freezing tomorrow here. Down to 16 tomorrow night. 42 on Sunday as you go to church, and down to 21 on Sunday. Now, it's going to be a lot of pipes if you don't have them wrapped. Erupting. We don't want you to be a victim of this. Take care of it. Do something now before it all arrives. As we get on into the week, we'll get up to 58 by Tuesday, 56 on Wednesday night, but we got rain moving into the forecast by then. Hopefully that'll make a difference for North Mississippi. Now we're into the 60s as we see some February weather coming in with showers, nighttime lows, still below 40 for the majority of this, but yeah, I'd do that. I was given... Julia was fixing her hair, which you can't see from there.
I'm Greg. Welcome to the show. Nice to meet you.
Oh, the behind-the-scenes things. As we look at our best fishing times for today, wind's going to be light and variable. Northwest wind 10 to 15, gusts of 20 miles an hour. Major times to fish days 9 o'clock to 11. You'll get an extra time this afternoon around 2 o'clock. Let's get into our hunting forecast, and you got 2 days left in the great state of Mississippi to hunt. It's an average day, which means it's a great day because you got 2 days left. Again, that wind is going to be northwest 10 to 15, gust of 20, so shoot houses are your best choice. Major times 9 o'clock this morning till 11 o'clock, 2:30 to 3:30 is your major times. But again, we still have some rut taking place. There's some boys still chasing some girls. Sunrise at 6:52, and we see sunset almost to 5:30 now, 5:26. Is what we're seeing there. Let's look at our forecast and what we've got coming there. Already 6:53 as the gang is getting ready. Y'all ready for all this, Greg?
Oh. Welcoming a new co-host again.
Yeah, there she is over there. I love those earrings, Julia.
I don't start until.
Oh, she doesn't start yet.
Oh, she's off the clock.
We'll get things rolling in just a minute. Join us, won't you? It all gets underway at 7 o'clock this morning. Lots to talk about what went on. We'll tell you what went on in the Meridian area, and always some great commentary on the way at the Scotty Ray Report. Join us for Fun Friday.